Today, we're diving into something really fascinating. It's a journey of self-discovery, but not like one you've heard before. We're going to follow the story of a man who, in a sense, literally walked through the corridors of his own mind. Sounds wild, right? Let's get into it.
So, just think about that for a second. What if you could actually walk through the landscape of your own mind? I'm not talking about just thinking about your thoughts. I mean, opening a door and stepping inside a place that is your inner world. What would that place look like for you? Would it be bright, messy, organized? That's the exact idea we're exploring today. So this whole idea is based on a technique called Yuan Chen Gong, which basically translates to the inner mansion. It's this incredible visualization practice where you imagine your subconscious as a house. And here's the kicker. The condition of that house, is it clean? Is it dark? Is it falling apart? Is a direct mirror of what's going on inside you, mentally and emotionally. All right, so let's get into the story. Our guide on this wild journey is a man named Mr. Chang. We're going to follow his recorded experience step by step as he ventures into his own inner mansion for the first time. Okay, so as he begins this guided journey, the first thing that appears in his mind's eye is his mansion. And it's not some grand palace. It's just a simple two-story building. The color is this sort of dull gray-white, and right away he gets this feeling it's a bit cold. You can already tell this is a pretty big clue about where his head's at, right? And when he steps inside, whoa, that feeling gets even stronger. The air is super stuffy, unventilated. It's dim. The whole place just has this vibe like it's been sealed shut for years. And you gotta remember, this isn't just a house. It's a perfect metaphor for a mind that's feeling kind of stuck, maybe a little weighed down. So the first place he explores is the living room. Now, in this system, the living room represents your day-to-day consciousness, your current thoughts. And this is where the really interesting work starts to happen. And man, what a mess. The floors are totally dusty, there's clutter all over the tables, and he sees these old newspapers piled up on the sofa. Think about that, old news, old thoughts, things he hasn't dealt with. So, with the guide's help, he starts to imagine himself cleaning it all up, sweeping the floors, clearing off the tables, all inside his mind. And this is where it gets really wild. The moment he imagines himself cleaning that room, tidying up, letting in some light, he feels a physical change. He actually says, my chest feels a little more open. That tight, stuffy feeling he had, it starts to loosen up. He is literally feeling the effects of this mental housekeeping in his body. How cool is that? Okay, next stop, the kitchen. This is a really important room. In Wan Qinggong, the kitchen is all about your personal energy, your vitality, your life force, and it's even connected to things like your career and finances. So first he looks at the stove, and the flame, which represents his inner fire, his drive, it's just weak, it's sputtering. So he imagines himself adding more fuel, turning up the gas, and slowly but surely, that weak little flame turns into this strong, stable, warm, orange-red glow. He is actively reigniting his own passion and energy just by visualizing it. All right, next up is the water cistern, or maybe you'd think of it as a big water tank. This represents the flow of wealth and resources in his life. And yeah, it's got some issues. For one, it's only about 60% full. There's some gunk floating on the top, and he sees these little cracks in the side. It's a perfect visual for feeling like you're leaking energy, or maybe money, somewhere in your life. So what does he do? He gets to work. In his mind, he drains out all that dirty water. He imagines sealing up every single crack, and then he refills it to the brim with fresh, crystal clear water. See, this isn't just wishful thinking. It's a very active, deliberate process of repair and renewal. All right, from the kitchen, the journey takes a turn. We're heading to what is maybe the most personal and powerful room in the whole mansion, the bedroom. This is the space that represents our truest, deepest self, our core identity, where we're most vulnerable. And the scene inside, it's heavy. The room just feels lonely. All the windows are shut. The curtains are drawn tight. And sitting in the corner, with its back to him, is a figure, just kind of hunched over. You can almost feel the sadness and isolation in the air. And then it hits him. Mr. Chang realizes who he's looking at. It's him. But it's a past version of himself, a version that's just tired, hurt, and totally closed off from the world. Think about that. He is standing face to face with a part of his own past that he's been dragging around, maybe without even realizing it. Now, his first instinct might be to judge or ignore this part of himself, but the guide tells him to show it some compassion. So he walks over to this forgotten version of himself, and all he says is, "You've had a hard time." Just, wow. What a powerful moment of self-acceptance and real empathy.
And this is the climax of the healing. He reaches out and embraces that part of himself. And as he does, he feels this incredible sensation, a warm current shooting up his spine as the two versions of him become one. It's a physical feeling of integration, of becoming whole. And right then, he starts to cry. Not sad tears, but tears of pure release.
So feeling whole for the first time in a long time, Mr. Chang leaves the house and steps outside, into the garden. The garden, as you might guess, represents his life's journey, his personal growth, and how he connects with the world around him. And there he finds his tree of life. But it's not looking so great. The leaves are all yellow and dry, and the ground around the roots is just full of weeds. So the work begins again. The steps are simple, but so meaningful. He pulls out the weeds, gives the dry earth a good long drink of water, and just watches in his mind's eye as the yellow leaves start to turn a healthy, vibrant green. And check this out. As soon as his inner tree of life starts to revive, the world around it changes too. He looks up, and that gloomy, overcast sky from before, it's cleared up. It's sunny now. And way off in the distance, he can see a faint rainbow. I mean, you can't get a better symbol for hope and a fresh start than that, right? So after all this work, cleaning the living room, fixing the kitchen, embracing his past self, and nurturing his tree, what's the #1 takeaway for him? He says he feels a sense of peace that he has never, ever felt before. And his mansion, which started out so cold and dark, is now filled with light and life. It's the perfect reflection of the transformation that just happened inside him.
Now, it's really important to get this straight. This whole experience wasn't some kind of magic or fortune-telling. What it was a really deep psychological cleansing. By turning his stress, his fears, his old wounds into actual things he could see and touch in his mind, he was able to deal with them. He could clean them, fix them, and heal them. It's an incredible act of self-empowerment.
And that, of course, brings it all back to you. After hearing about Mr. Chang's incredible journey, it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? If you could visit your own inner mansion right now, what would you find? Would it be bright and airy, or are there maybe a few rooms that could use a little tidying up? It's a really powerful thought to leave you with.